Words are powerful. They can build a relationship or tear it down. They can heal or wound, encourage or discourage, connect people or disconnect people, and they can produce peace or chaos. And when it comes to relationships in your life, learning to use the right words will definitely play a big factor in making or breaking those relationships. In this video, I will share with you 5 types of words that you should avoid using when you're in an argument. Hi everyone, my name is Anton and I coach people in improving their behavior, relationships, and spirituality. If this is your first time here in my channel and you like positive content related to these 3 areas, please click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you will be notified when a new video comes out. In communication, you always have a point that you want to get across clearly to the other person. These types of words that I'm about to show you usually overpower your point and takes the focus of the conversation away from where it should be. These words cause a lot of misunderstandings, misinterpretations, and it just increases the conflicts in any relationship that you have. So if you want to maintain a good relationship with a person, here are the 5 types of words that you should avoid. Number 1, avoid absolutes. Absolutes are words like always and never. We avoid them because they are seldom accurate and true. For example, if you tell a person, "You never listen to me," what you're accusing that person of is that not once in their entire life has he or she ever listened to you. Because the word never means not once ever. And that is quite an accusation to make against someone and is probably not completely accurate. The word always is another absolute word that has the same negative effect when used the wrong way. For example, when you tell a person, "You're always making excuses," what you're actually saying to that person is that at all times and in all occasions, this person is just making an excuse. Again, this absolute word is probably exaggerated and not completely accurate. Whenever we use absolutes like the ones in our examples, what happens is that the person you are talking to becomes very defensive and they will take offense in what you have said. This is mainly because you have just disregarded, canceled out, or overlooked all the other times when they have done the right thing or what you've asked of them. Let me show you what I mean. Never means not once ever, and this is what it looks like. Let's say your daughter is 18 years old and you just told her, "You never listened to me." You're accusing her that in all 6,570 days that she has been alive, she didn't listen to you, not even once. It means every day here has to be checked for your statement to be accurate, true, and fair. And if it is not, it means that the truth probably looks more like this. And it means that you have just disregarded, overlooked, and canceled out all these other times that she actually listened to you. So of course, the daughter will take offense and be defensive in response to that absolute word. And here's what else happens when you use these words. The focus of the conversation shifts from your point to the absolute word. Instead of the person trying to understand your point, they will get fixated on this absolute word and you will end up arguing about that word instead of talking about your main point. If you've experienced being at the receiving end of an absolute word, why don't you share with us in the comments below how it made you feel when a person overlooks all the good that you've done and canceled them out. Now let's look at number 2. Avoid comparisons. No one likes to feel inferior to others. And this is the effect that negative comparisons have on a person. Using phrases like, "Why can't you be more like your brother?" or "You're acting just like your mother." It usually doesn't end well in a conversation. It makes the person resent you and the person that you've compared them to. Comparing yourself to others and being compared to others usually has a negative effect. Kids, for example, who are constantly being compared negatively to others, develop low self-esteem, damaged self-worth, and stress, among other things. Or comparing your spouse or partner to others is also a big no-no in relationships. Negative comparisons usually cut a deep emotional wound in that person, especially when you compare them to someone that they also dislike. And I know sometimes you have a good motive and you just want that person to be better or to be motivated to change their attitude or discipline, but you have to find a better way of doing it without using comparisons. Number 3, avoid derogatory words. Using slurs, insults, cursing, and other words that express a negative connotation are usually said out of pride, frustration, and anger. It shows your low opinion and lack of respect towards that person. Derogatory words usually target a person's character, a capability, or intelligence. Calling someone stupid, crazy, or useless are examples of some derogatory words that are commonly used in arguments. Aside from the obvious initial emotional pain that it causes its victims, these derogatory words cause long-term damage to the individual and also to the relationship. Studies in psychology and parenting shows that kids who grow up in homes where they constantly receive harsh criticisms and insults end up internalizing those words as it replays over and over in their minds like a loop. Those negative words spoken to them turn into negative self-talk and eventually start to become something that they believe in. Using derogatory words in marriage relationships also have a long-lasting effect, as those words add on to the wall that's causing emotional detachment in that relationship. The negative effects of derogatory words are hard to erase or reverse in a person's heart or mind. That's why it's easier to just avoid using them at all. Number 4, avoid mentioning past mistakes. Even the Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians 13 that love keeps no record of wrongs. Whenever you bring back past mistakes, it means that it's something that hasn't been resolved in your life, and that you're still carrying that hurt and bitterness from that mistake. Also, when you do this, you're dragging back to the surface all the negative feelings and thoughts that accompany those past mistakes. Remember, you have to stick to your point and to the current issue that is happening. Anything else will just derail your message and your point. Resurrecting past mistakes is equivalent to throwing gasoline to an already raging fire. Why? Because dealing with the current issue and mistake is already hard enough. And bringing back past issues even make it harder. Because instead of having to deal with just one problem, you've just added more to the conversation. Number 5, avoid dismissive words. Words like never mind, forget it, whatever, or you won't understand it anyway. These words are a form of rejection. What you're telling the other person is that they are not worth the time, effort, and energy for you to explain the problem or issue at hand. It shows your lack of interest in resolving that problem with them. Maybe you use these words because you're just tired of explaining, or you think that the other person might not listen anyway. But you just have to be aware of the consequences of using a dismissive word and what it makes the other person feel when you use it. Using these 5 types of words or phrases that we just looked at just cause more tension and conflict in any argument, and they usually add on to the pile of unresolved hurts and anger that causes people to emotionally detach from each other. So, if you want to preserve or improve your relationships, remember what we talked about today and avoid using these words and phrases, especially when you're arguing with someone. The Bible teaches us that the power of life and death are in the tongue. Remember this the next time you are in an argument and choose your words wisely. Make sure that what you're saying is accurate and specific, and make sure that your point is clear and that you don't use any words that take the attention and focus away from your point. I hope that these tips I've shared with you will help improve your relationships and the way you communicate. Before we end, if you have any additional insights about this topic or you want to share about your experiences, please write them in the comments below. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, please click that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. That's it for us today. If you've made it all the way to the end of this video, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your precious time, and God bless you. I'll see you on the next video.